Imagine waking up every day with the confidence that life is no longer a series of random events, but a perfectly orchestrated symphony you've learned to conduct. What if you held the key to unlocking not just your desires but the very nature of existence itself? The truth is, most people stumble through life without realizing that there are universal principles quietly shaping every experience. What if mastering these unseen forces could radically transform everything from your career, relationships, and health to your sense of peace and purpose? This is not some obscure knowledge reserved for sages or mystics, it is a roadmap to navigating reality itself, available to anyone willing to understand the 12 universal laws of life. These laws are the foundation of everything you see, feel, and experience. By mastering them, you don't just change small aspects of your life, you alter the very core of how life unfolds for you. The first step in this journey is realizing that life responds to you, not the other way around. Whether you're aware of it or not, these laws are already in play, shaping your life moment by moment. You might think of them as the invisible mechanics behind the scenes. Some people spend their entire lives resisting them, struggling against the natural order of things, which only leads to frustration, disappointment, and stagnation. But those who master these laws become the creators of their reality, shaping their destiny with purpose and precision. Many people know about the law of attraction, thanks to its popularization in modern culture, but it's only one part of a much larger puzzle. To truly transform your life, you need to understand all 12 of the universal laws. When you master them together, they function like the gears of a clock, each working in harmony to create a life of flow, abundance, and purpose. These laws are interconnected. Mastering one without the others is like playing only one note on a piano. To create a melody, you must play them all. There is no room for passive learning here. Mastery means embodying these principles so deeply that they become second nature to you. It means understanding how to use these laws to guide your thoughts, actions, and decisions with unshakable certainty. It's not just about knowing them intellectually, it's about weaving them into the fabric of your everyday life until they become indistinguishable from who you are. Mastery begins with awareness. Everything that exists in your reality is a product of the law of divine oneness. It's the first, foundational law, reminding us that we are all connected, and that every action, word, or thought ripples out into the universe. This law is the ultimate truth, and it can be both liberating and daunting. It means that your choices affect the world around you, but it also means that you have a direct connection to the entire cosmos. Nothing is separate, everything is interrelated. To master this law, you must see yourself as both an individual and a part of the greater whole. But how do you harness this connection? That's where the second law comes in, the law of vibration. It's not just about what you do, but the energy behind it. Everything in the universe moves and vibrates, including your thoughts and emotions. To master this law is to understand that your feelings and thoughts create your reality, not just in an abstract sense, but in a very real, tangible way. The frequency you emit determines what you attract into your life. The question is, what vibration are you sending out into the world? When you realize that life responds to your vibration, you start to see the importance of the law of correspondence. This law reveals that your outer world is a direct reflection of your inner world. If your life feels chaotic, disorganized, or unfulfilling, it's because there is internal chaos, disorganization, or lack of clarity. Mastering this law requires you to take radical responsibility for your inner state, knowing that what you nurture within is what will manifest outside. Now, if everything is connected and vibrates at a certain frequency, then it follows that there are cycles and rhythms that you must learn to flow with. This brings us to the law of rhythm. Life moves in cycles, seasons, tides, phases of the moon, and even the ups and downs of human emotion. Nothing is static. To master this law, you must learn to embrace these cycles rather than resist them. When you're in sync with life's natural rhythms, everything becomes easier. Resistance is what causes stress, burnout, and frustration. Flowing with the rhythm of life allows you to conserve energy and move with grace. But there's another aspect to the cycles of life, and that's the law of polarity. Everything has an opposite, light and dark, good and evil, hot and cold. These opposites are not here to create conflict but to offer perspective. Mastery of this law means understanding that opposites exist to help you grow. Without challenges, you would not appreciate ease. Without sadness, joy would lose its meaning. The key is to embrace both ends of the spectrum, knowing that every negative experience carries within it the seed of its positive counterpart. The next law, the law of cause and effect, reminds us that nothing happens by chance. Every action has a reaction. What you put out into the world will come back to you, often magnified. This law encourages you to act with intention because every word, action, or decision creates a ripple that will eventually return to you. To master this law is to understand the immense power of your choices and to live with full awareness of their consequences. Just as important is the law of compensation, which takes the idea of cause and effect to a deeper level. It reminds us that we will be compensated for our efforts, but the form that compensation takes may not always be what we expect. The universe has a way of balancing the scales, but it does so on its own terms and timeline. Mastery here requires patience and trust, knowing that your efforts will never go unnoticed, even if the reward is not immediate or obvious. The law of perpetual transmutation of energy teaches us that energy is constantly moving and evolving. It's a reminder that nothing stays the same for long. Mastering this law means recognizing that you have the power to shift negative energy into positive, and that change is not only possible but inevitable. You are never stuck, no matter how dear the circumstances. By shifting your thoughts, you can shift your reality. But to master all these laws requires something more, the law of relativity. This law teaches that everything is relative, nothing exists in isolation. Every experience you have is relative to something else. You might feel poor, but only in comparison to someone wealthier. You might feel unhappy, but only in comparison to a time when you were happier. Mastery of this law comes when you stop comparing and start appreciating where you are in your unique journey, knowing that life is not a race or a competition but a deeply personal evolution. There's also the law of gender, which speaks not to biological gender but to the balance of masculine and feminine energies within each of us. The masculine energy is active, assertive, and logical, while the feminine is intuitive, nurturing, and receptive. Mastering this law means creating harmony between these two energies, knowing when to act and when to receive, when to push and when to allow. And finally, we come full circle with the law of attraction, the most well-known but often misunderstood law. It's not just about thinking positively and expecting good things to happen. It's about aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with what you desire and trusting the process. To master this law is to realize that you are a magnet for what you focus on, and that by becoming what you seek, you effortlessly attract it into your life. These 12 universal laws are the blueprint for mastering life itself. When you understand and apply them, you no longer live at the mercy of circumstances. Instead, you step into the role of creator, sculpting your reality with intention, clarity, and purpose. And in doing so, you unlock a level of freedom, joy, and fulfillment that most people only dream of. Master the laws, and you master life.